Alright, looks like it's working. How's it going, everybody? Xander, I know you've been waiting patiently. Alright. Let's see what's going on here. I got a new microphone, so if you can let me know if you can hear me, that would be great. Hopefully this is a little louder than last time. Awesome. Cool. I'm just going to say Vinewood. Thank you, Vinewood. I don't want to mess up the rest of the name on there. Alright. So, I had a free night and thought it would be fun to do another Q&A. We haven't done one since August and everybody seemed to enjoy it, so I thought it would be pretty cool to, hang out, answer a few questions. If you guys had anything on questions on recent videos I've done, or on stop motion, or just, in general about the channel, or just want to chat about Transformers, that would be cool too. So, yeah, that's what I thought we'd do tonight. Not a big deal. Keep it low key and maybe just do an hour or so. It depends on how many people are here. What's up, Justin? Please call me Vine or Vinewood if that's the name. It is too long. No problem. Thanks, Vinewood. Or Vine. Whichever one you prefer. Yeah, Xander, I know you were waiting. I saw all your comments in the chat as I was setting things up. I tried to respond to you. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's been a long week of doing... I did a lot of animation for the Dino King video. I'm really glad of how that turned out. And then I've been doing a lot of work on audiobooks. And now I'm working on this week's video, and hopefully I can get it done on time. I'm really got my fingers crossed. I just did a ton of animation today for it, so we'll see. But if anybody's got any questions and want to throw it in the chat, I'll see what I can come up with for answers. Good stuff. Let's see here. 3 watching, yay. I'm waiting for the... Oh, and I'm super happy because I figured out how to put the chat in OBS, so now it'll actually get recorded, so that's fun too. Oh, wait, question 1. Okay. How do you know these stop motions? How long does it usually take? I guess you're asking how long it takes to make the stop motions that I do. It varies on the complexity of what I'm trying to accomplish with the animation and the complexity of the character. So, like with the core class, Dino Force guys, it was actually pretty simple to animate, the transformations and things like that, because it's not a lot of complexity towards the figures itself. And it actually got real... I had to stop myself because it was so easy once I did the combining sequence and got them all together to, just... It was very fluid and just doing regular motions. The most complex stuff would be when I do, like, a much bigger figure, like a big combiner like Star Saber or something like that, where I have to do a lot of complex motions at once. I try to incorporate camera movements into my stop motion as well, just to make it look more dynamic and picture what it's to make it look more like how I would I picture it in my head as maybe when I was a child and playing with the toys, like what I was thinking of what they were doing versus what they were actually capable of doing. So I try to make it look more dynamic in that, like an anime versus just smashing the figures together or making them do what they're actually capable of doing. It does take a while to do that kind of complex shot. So like the Dino King video, I was working on that for 3 days to do all the animation for it, but I also did a minute of animation versus which I normally do about 20 to 30 seconds. What's my opinion on Legacy Tigerhawk? Well, I did a video on it and I liked it. I thought it was great. I would like to see more of the Transmetal designs, Transmetal and Transmetal 2 designs get incorporated into Generations. I love the Transmetal designs. That's when I got into Beast Wars. It was around the second season. So like Transmetal Megatron, Transmetal Optimus, all those figures, Cheetor, those were my jam as far as like the Beast Wars characters. So Legacy Tigerhawk I thought was great, and I thought they did a wonderful job with it. I mean, there was little things like the hollow wings and stuff like that. I'm a little worried about it breaking over time, but so far it's been fine. And question 3 was, how are you? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking that. That's nice of you to say. Your dog Digger passed away, and I'm very sorry to hear that, Xander, that your dog passed away. I'm a dog person myself. That's a very sad thing. I'm sorry that happened for you, and I hope you hope you find something to help you get through it. You know, something constructive. I've had a few dogs go in the over the years, and it's not a fun experience. Hi, memes and stop motion. Oh, memes and stop motion. Great name. How are you? Your mic is kind of loud. Oh, well, let me see if I can turn it down. It's a new mic. I'm trying to work it out. Let me know if this is better. So I'll try. Is this too loud, or can you hear me still? I cranked it down a little bit. Still trying to work out the levels here with that. Justin wants to know, have you had an idea of a stop motion scene but couldn't make it work for whatever reason? So many. I've had so many ideas over the last 20 years of doing stop motion animation. Now it's too low. Okay, I'll raise it back up. Try to get it close to the yellow. Hopefully that's better. I've had a lot of stop motion plans. I've written scripts for things to do. I've done some storyboarding for stuff. I've had a lot of just ideas in general of what I could do with them. I used to just buy figures and think, oh yeah, I'll do a thing with this figure. And I've learned over the years to stop being so ambitious with what I want to try to accomplish with stop motion. And it's really kept me grounded as far as this toy makes me happy is concerned. Being able to make sure that the stop motion is achievable, because if I go too big with it, if I try to get too ambitious with it, then I'm never going to actually do it. I've started to like gradually increase the ambitiousness of what I'm doing. That's why I added some special effects into the last video. I'm not going to do that every time, but yeah. I thought it looked cool to have his weapon appear in his hand versus, you know, doing a fade effect or something like that. I actually hand drew all those laser effects around the axe and had it appear, which is cool, and the gun. Let's say you had one Transformer you could bring into New Age of collection. What would it be, and who or what team? I guess if I could bring a new... So what do I want to see, I guess, come out in the new lines? I really want to see them keep visiting characters who have been ignored over the last 40 years. I would love to see, like, the little guys, like the Throttle Bots, the Trigger Bots who have not come out. We got Trigger Cons, but we haven't gotten many of the Trigger Bots. Guys like that who, by and large, get ignored by Hasbro. And it's probably not as nice to say ignored anymore because they have been giving us so many deep cuts lately in the last few years. Legacy has been really generous as far as that's concerned. I would love to see, some of the... Thunderclash would be a great one to see. And then we can get a Machine Wars Optimus Prime out of it, which would be awesome, too. Yeah, I think my love of Goldbug has been shown across the channel over the past 2 years of doing this, and I would like to see more of him, more of the Throttle Bots and stuff like that, because like I had a lot of those as a kid, because I was born in 1985, so I came into G1, a couple years. The show was already over. I was watching it in reruns, so I got all of those later G1 characters and Beast Wars. Like those were and G2 obviously were like my jam. That's how I was introduced to Transformers, and it was really fun for that. I would love to see them bring the Breast Force in. So if we got a new Leo Kaiser, would be incredible. The Japanese characters are some of my favorites. I would love to see a new version of that. The fact that we're getting new combiners in Age of the Primes is pretty neat. Seeing uh, what we've seen so far of what's coming out in that and the Studio Series 86 Constructicons leads me to think that, there's a chance, that kind of thing might happen. We've gotten a lot of Japanese characters lately. Maybe we'll get the new Breast Force, new Leo Kaiser. That would be awesome. We need a companion piece for Death Sword. I keep looking over there because my shelf's over there with these guys. So we got Dino King, we got Death Saurus. Let's get a Leo Kaiser to go with him. Oh, and Road Caesar. I could just name drop characters from all of the obscure Japanese G1 and beyond, and I would love to see all those. A new Magna Boss, how about that? Like, there's so many characters that they could do, and they are doing. It's just, there's only so many spots in a year that they can fill. What else? I wish they would bring... Nope, saw that. Shattered Glass or OG Shattered Glass Goldbug. I like the colors on them. I almost bought it when they did a version of it in the Shattered Glass line, but I ended up waiting, and then I got the Legacy Goldbug that came out in the Buzzworthy, in the Target exclusive pack. I didn't keep any of the other figures from that pack, but I did keep Goldbug because he's Goldbug. Characters like Metalhawk. I love seeing these guys now. Like it's awesome that we live in this golden age right now of Transformers toys. It sucks because, I dabble in other fandoms. Like my daughter is a huge Power Rangers fan, and Hasbro seems to be kind of neglecting the other fandoms. It feels, but at the same time, as a Transformers fan, it's pretty neat that. We're getting what we're getting. And I can't wait to see more of it. I was just looking over pictures of the stuff that they've already revealed for Age of the Primes, like the Fallen and things like that. And I think it's just going to continue what Legacy and the War for Cybertron trilogy started, which would be nice. Super Sentai exists? Yes, it does. My daughter doesn't watch Super Sentai, but she does watch Power Rangers. She got into it through I have the Heroes of the Grid board game from Renegade Games, and I taught her how to play that just out of boredom. I was like, hey, I'm going to teach you a game. And then she was like, oh, what is this about? Like, who is this? She really attached to Kimberly because she's a gymnast, and so is Kimberly in the show. I said, well, you could watch it. So we put on Power Rangers, and she binge watched 30 years of Power Rangers in like 2 years. So she absolutely loved it. And so it's kind of a fandom that I don't buy a lot from Power Rangers. I have a few things, and she has her stuff. But we go to conventions and meet the actors and things like that, and it's fun to dabble in those other fandoms. Yeah, they were selling off all those props, and that sucked. It just doesn't bode well. I don't know what the big deal is. Like the 30th anniversary hit, they put a lot of effort into that, and then they just kind of stopped. And there was no toys for Cosmic Fury either. Like, she was ready to ask for tons of Cosmic Fury stuff for Christmas. It would have been great to be able to fulfill that wish, but instead I think they put out the Zords and they looked like garbage, and they put out a Morpher. Oh well. And since I was going through a lot of emotions when Digger, my parents let me open a present for Christmas early, and it was, oh, well, I hope that cheered you up a little bit. R.I.D. Landfill's a great figure. I know Nod over at Bots Obsession just got his, and he did a video on those combiners, and that's one of my favorite combiners, actually, because it's so innovative. So I hope it gave you a little bit of happiness. Is the microphone okay at this point? Did I dial it in well enough? Can everybody hear it? Doesn't sound too bad, actually. Since they're going to pull the Sentai where created their own mechs from zero, is kind of scared. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're doing at this point with Power Rangers. They tried to go more original, and they were just using the mecha, and then it became, I don't know, they cut down Cosmic Fury from what I understand. It was supposed to be a full season, and then it became a mini-series, but I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed watching it with her, so. I sound beautiful. Thank you, Justin. I hope I do. You know, for someone who, I professionally record things, but when it comes to streaming, I can never figure out the levels and stuff like that because I do everything in post. But when I'm streaming live like this, I'm like, it doesn't look right. I'm not sure. But it was not complete with High Tower missing his. Oh yeah, that's always a risk. Check in the cockpit of the vehicle mode, because sometimes it's usually hidden in there. But if it's not in there, then I don't know what to tell you. That stinks though, because that's a cool little pistol he comes with, the High Tower figure. Man, not sure what else. I didn't know how many people would come on for this, so we'll go a little longer. This looks like it's working. All right, cool. I should have played a game on this stream. That's what other people do. I didn't want to mess that up too, because adding more audio components would have messed with me. But I tried streaming the Galactic Trials game a few weeks ago, and a couple people watched it. But it's not a great game. I'll be honest. I've played it a couple times since, and it's got real clunky controls. But I don't know if anyone else has ever tried that. My favorite Seeker, oh man, Thundercracker, all day. Thundercracker's my favorite. I don't know why. I gravitated towards him. I mean, Starscream's iconic, for his voice and for the character. But as a kid, I always just really liked Thundercracker. I thought he was a cool shade of blue. I liked his ability. I liked his bio. And just something about him. He was always my favorite of them. Of the original Seekers. And I always have a hard time because when new Seeker molds come out, I try to resist it because it's always the same design for the most part. If it's a G1 Seeker anyway. But then eventually I'll end up getting a Thundercracker. And then if you get a Thundercracker, or whatever, if you get one, you want the other ones. And it becomes annoying when they either don't release the other ones or they do release the other ones. And either way, you're buying the same mold multiple times. I do usually resist the cone heads, though. I do, with the Earthrise Seekers, I only own 4 copies of it. I ended up getting Thundercracker. I had bought the 2-pack, Thundercracker and Skywarp, but I split it with a friend. But then I wanted Skywarp, so I ended up buying the 2-pack again and re-splitting it with him, so he got both. And then I have Starscream, because I bought the King Starscream. And then I was gifted the G2 Ramjet, so I have 4 versions of that mold. I'm a fellow Thundercracker fan. Yes, Thundercracker's the best. Do you ever plan on doing a top 10 cassettes with your third-party ones? I have not planned on doing that, but it's always a possibility when I'm trying to think of ideas for top 10s, because those are the videos that seem to do the best. People really love list videos. I've resisted putting third-party figures into most of the top 10s because, one, it doesn't seem fair to compare them to a retail release figure from Hasbro. It's just not, because they're not on the same level most of the time. A lot of third-party figures are essentially masterpiece, with no restrictions to engineering or child safety laws or anything like that. So when you compare a third-party figure to a retail release, it's not a fair comparison. But at some point, and I also don't own a lot of third-party figures. Most of my third-party figures are cassettes. I do have a few other ones. I've got Fans Hobby. I got their versions of Hosehead, Nightbeat, and Siren, and then I have their Machine Wars Optimus Prime mold, Machine Eagle. But I don't buy a lot of third-party just because it's very expensive, and also I don't fully agree with that third party gets away with what they do as far as copyright infringement laws and things like that. It feels weird, but that's why I have my own kind of weird rule set when it comes to buying third party. If it's a character that I don't think Hasbro will ever do or hasn't done in a very long time, then I kind of consider it. Or if it's a cassette, some of the cassettes like Slam Dance. Squawk Box, the Dino cassettes, the ones that are largely ignored, I'll jump on those. Like Doctor Wu does some amazing cassettes. I did a animation of one of them recently, but it's very frustrating to see. That's why I don't usually put them in top 10 lists. But maybe at some point, anything's a possibility. What is my favorite Commander class figure? Oh, that's a difficult question. It varies based on mood, I guess. Magmatron was really impressive. I liked Motormaster a lot, and then it led to the problem with Motormaster was it led to making Menasor, so you had to buy the other four. So that was a very expensive journey into a commander class. Rodimus, I know some people don't feel like he was worthy of commander class, but I thought he was great. I don't think I could tell you a favorite. I think the most impressive is probably Magmatron, considering how dense he is and how much he has to achieve. And then there's Skylynx as well. I have him. The only one I don't have, I don't have a couple. I don't have Ultra Magnus because I never found him. And he was sold out online when I finally had the money to look for him. I didn't buy Jetfire from Siege. I've heard good things about him, but he's just a giant Jetfire. And then I'm not buying Studio Series 86 Optimus. I'm just not. I don't see the need to have that one. Sick of G1. Yeah, I can understand that. Like, to be honest, I get it. I like when they delve into deeper and more deep cut G1. But G1 season 1 and 2, I'm kind of done with at this point. Like they can give it a long rest as far as I'm concerned. But I would love to see more, some of the Japanese G1, or start getting into dive more into the more recent stuff. Like start revisiting more of Robots in Disguise and even Armada and stuff like that. That's where, or do something new. Honestly, that would be great too. We haven't seen something like purely original in a while. We have Earthspark and Cyberverse and stuff like that, but a lot of those are just rehashes of G1 in a lot of ways. Do you think Hasbro is going to release the rest of the DJD? Honestly, no. Just because of, unless they drastically change them. Some of those alt modes, they might give them different kinds of alt modes and then make it available to do like a fan mode into their actual alt modes. It would be probably hard to do a retail release of like an electric chair. I could see them doing, I think Voss is the sniper rifle, something like him, because turning him into basically a target master for a bigger figure like Tarn to Hold, that could be something interesting to do with a core class or something. But I don't see them doing torture devices and selling it at retail. I'm kind of scared about buying third parties since it feels weird having it and the ones I had broke easily. Yeah, it's scary. Third party is hit or miss. Like, I found brands that I trust and I will consider buying, but it's also very expensive. You're paying a lot of money for something that is so fragile or feels fragile. But some of them are good. Like Fans Hobby so far, other than the Nightbeat mold, the other ones that I've bought are pretty good. The Nightbeat mold looks good, but it's not fun to transform. So Magmatron is good. I know I put him in my scariest to transform list, but it's really because I'm lazy and I don't like changing them back and forth. Just like the original. Like, I owned the original way back in the day when it came out in Beast Machines. It wasn't fun to transform. This one is slightly more fun than the original to transform, but it's still an endeavor. It's a long experience in my experience to transform him back and forth. And he just looks cool in robot mode, so I just keep him that way. Armada Prime is my favorite. Yeah. Oh, that's another. I forgot about Armada Prime. I always forget about Armada Prime. Like, he was so good, but I just keep forgetting that I have him for some reason. Like, I put all that effort into animating him, and I praised him so much, and then so much other stuff has come out that's been really good that I honestly forget I have him until I have to, like, rearrange shelves and stuff. I think most people dislike Rodimus because of the engineering. This is what I think. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons for it. He is very involved, and there's a lot of... It's almost third-party-esque because there's so many little pieces to twist and turn and move around. But to achieve the look that they got out of him, I don't think they could have done it at a lower price point without causing more compromises. Like, if you compare him to the Power of the Primes version, which... I think I just recently... Do I still have it? I actually don't remember if I still have it or not. I just sold a bunch of toys. But I did put it in a top 10 earlier in the year. But like, that version felt like a toy. But it didn't give quite the silhouette that you're looking for a Rodimus Prime. Because, it was basically a Power Master Rodimus Prime, and you had a super mode to be Rodimus Prime, which is fun to play with, but it's not... If you're looking for a accurate looking and really cool traditional Rodimus that looks like he walked out of an animation cell, then you want the Kingdom version. You want that Commander class version. But the level of effort you have to put into transforming it, yeah, it could take a little while. And it can be a little scary because there's so many little parts. Vinewood, from what I heard, Rodimus is disliked because of the trailer. Yeah, I mean, that's also true. The trailer is basically a box. I would have liked more out of it, but I think what they did with it was kind of cool. They put a lot of hidden pieces and compartments to store stuff, which was nice. And I had the original Rodimus as a kid. Like, I loved that figure, even though it did nothing. Like, the legs didn't move, nothing. And the trailer was just, split open and the cannon came out. I remember... must have been first grade. We had a project to bring. You had to bring a childhood toy in, which was a funny way of putting it because we were children. But the teacher had us bring in toys, and one of our favorite toys. And I brought in Rodimus Prime, and I was the only kid because of my age who still really paid attention to Transformers or liked Transformers. But I was so proud to bring that in, and a bunch of other kids were like, "Oh my God, my older sibling had Transformers." So I just had... That's a distinct memory of mine from like when I was really young. Oh yeah, they're doing a line. Takara showed us Long Rack. It's I don't know if they're calling it Long Rack. Maybe they are. But it's a new Takara only line, right? Where it's essentially like small animals become target masters or something like that. I saw concept art for it. There was a bunch of pictures going around. It looked kind of cool. I don't know if I would dive into it too much, but I was enjoying it. Just seeing new things is always fun. Commander Rodimus is kind of mid in my eyes. The trailer doesn't do much, and it's just kind of plain of a figure, and that's the reason why I like Power of the Prime. Yeah, I mean, it's personal preference. I like the Power of the Primes version because when it came out, I was excited to have a new Rodimus Prime, and it was fun. It was a little annoying, putting the arms together and stuff like that, but it was still fun. It was a toy, versus the Commander class Rodimus is definitely more of a display piece. There's differences there. You look at anything from, the Prime Wars trilogy and before, they're toys first. Even the Generations line, they're not really made collector friendly. No, they're made more kid friendly than for collectors. But with War for Cybertron and forward, it's gradually shifted more towards Yeah, they're still fun, but they're more for collectors. You can feel the difference. How many figures do I have in my collection? I have not counted in a very long time. I just sold a sizable chunk. My whole collection used to be in storage, and before that, I I had sold a bunch way back in like 2010, 2011, and I was down to nothing but the cassettes and a few of my classics figures. And then gradually I started buying more figures again. I took a long hiatus. When Combiner Wars hit, I started buying toys again. And it was just a few here and there, but when you buy a combiner, you got to complete a combiner. And now it's built up again to the point where, okay, I can get rid of some. Because you got to purge it every once in a while, especially when they're not on display and you're not doing anything with them. So I started, I think at this point I probably have still a couple hundred pieces. But I don't have an exact count. Maybe I'll do if I ever organize my office again, every time I organize it, I always have to deorganize it because somebody comes over and plays with stuff or my kids come in. But if I ever get it reorganized, I'll do like a collection tour video. A few people have asked for that kind of thing to see it because it's always fun to see what people have. What else? What would be your dream collab for Transform? Oh, probably, I would love to see a TARDIS Transformer. Or the Enterprise. That would be a cool one too. There's so many cool ones. I would just love to see them do just really branch out to different sci-fi series and do different sci-fi vehicles. But they got to do it right. I don't like when they do a collab figure or like, if you can remember the old Star Wars crossover figures from years and years ago that were terrible, where they take a humanoid character and give it like a robot face. I don't like when they do that. When they do like an original character, like the Ectotron, that's fine. Or if they can find a way to make a existing Autobot or Decepticon fit with the design, that's cool. That's what I prefer. Oh, Mike's here. Hi, Priest. I wish Commander Rodimus's face was more animation adjacent. I guess maybe colored lighter instead of dark gray. Yeah, I mean, they could always do better with the paint. It's so hard here getting a Filch. I just found one. I didn't buy it, but I just found it in stores. Finally, the Walmart near me picked up the Star Seekers figures. I did buy Road Pig. Just got Road Pig because I love G2. And I couldn't resist that one. But most of the Star Seekers I'm not bothering with. Am I looking forward to the Doctor Who Christmas special? Yes, I am. I think the new Doctor Who's pretty good. It could be better. I think it needs more episodes in the seasons. What do they do? 8 for the season 1? It's just not enough to make you really get to know this Doctor and his companions. But I am looking for... I really liked the first Christmas special with Ncuti Gatwa, and I'm looking forward to this next one, because I also like that actress. I forget her name, but I've seen her in other things, and I thought she was a pretty good actress too. So I'm looking forward to seeing that pairing, and it's also dinosaurs at Christmas time. What's not to love about that? I switched out my Power of the Primes product Kingdom. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Interesting that you could switch their faces. Now I wish I got a vanilla Power of the Primes Rodimus then. I just have Unicron. Yeah, I didn't get the Unicronus one. I remember when I found Power of the Primes Rodimus, I wasn't buying a lot of toys. I didn't have a lot of money on me. And I found it at the same time I found the Optimal Optimus. And I was very torn on which one to get. And I still regret not getting Optimal Optimus from that line, but I do like that I got Rodimus, because I wanted to support, it's Rodimus. They don't do enough Rodimus Primes. Now they do, but, well, maybe they still don't, but they aren't too hard to come by, and it's a fun figure anyway, yeah. I would love to get a Combiner Wars Defensor. Yeah, he's a good one. He's one of the better of the Combiner Wars figures. I would still like... I like where they're going with new combiners going into 2025, or at least where they're seeming to go. They're not focusing so much on the Scramble City portion of it, but trying to make them as accurate as possible. But if you can get a Combiner Wars Defensor, it's a fun figure. I did buy 2 Star Raider lock. Yeah. Oh, I saw that, Mike. You combined them and made them taller. I would just like them to do a real lockdown, honestly, instead of making me use that kind of stuff. A TARDIS Transformer would be awesome. I just love Doctor Who, so. Your dream collab would be Warhammer. Oh, Thundercats. Yes. Oh, a Thunder Tank would be amazing. Especially if it came with some Thundercats to go in it. That would be cool, too. That's the one thing I kind of wish they had done with the party wagon was make it big enough and have it so you could put some turtle figures in it, but it's still pretty neat. Also, I made a poncho for my lockdowns. Yes, lockdown needs his cape, you know? Who is my favorite poncho wearing Transformer? I know where you're going with this too. Lockdown, Armada Scavenger. Yeah, there's a couple. Definitely not War for Cybertron Ultra Magnus. I'll say that because that was a real dumb scene. It's always dumb when they wear a poncho because it makes 0 sense. But I'll give it. You know what? I'll give it to Armada Scavenger. How about that? Because he never gets enough love. That would be a cool design for them to revisit, even though he's basically just a brick that stands up. Modern articulation on a brick. How do you do that? You know what? Don't even give him give him good articulation in his arms, but keep the stomping gimmick where it rolls and his feet stomp. That would be so fun to see. They don't do gimmicks like that anymore, really. Even at the expense of the the gimmick. You also had one of the was it Dark of the Moon Megatron? Also wore a poncho. There's been a few over the years who wear it. It's such a silly gimmick, but it's fun. Oh man, live action movies. The designs were wacky. Dalek from Marvel Comics turns. Okay, so you want to see a Dalek turn into a TARDIS? That would be interesting. Or they could just do a Dalek and a TARDIS. You know what? Give me 2 Doctor Who crossovers. Do a 2-pack. I'd like that too. Armada Starscream, but I wish he had the wing blade gimmick. Yeah, that was a downside to that. I liked the design of Legacy Armada Starscream. That's why I used him in a few animations for promos and things like that. But I was disappointed with the execution because, at least on mine, and I've heard that a lot on others too, the quality control was not great. Like, he has parts fall off like it's their job. And he's just some of his limbs are pretty loose, so that's why I didn't end up doing much with him. But the Cybertron version was much better. I think they did a lot better job with him. He was almost too small, actually. You know, even for a Voyager. Like, I feel like it might have been better off if he had been a leader class. Just to give him a little bit more, more articulation, better quality parts, a higher parts count might have done better for him. They did try their best. I mean, they put in the fillers in his legs and some other stuff, but the quality on him is not wonderful, honestly. Octus from Marvel UK turns into a Dalek. I'll have to look that one up. I'm not as I know Mike, you're much better with the Marvel UK stuff and Marvel Comics in general than I am. I have to look up who that is. A Dalek would be an interesting one to see turn into I don't know what a Dalek. I actually have a T-shirt. A friend of mine gifted it to me a long time ago. It's a crossover of a Dalek that turns into Shockwave. So I mean, because obviously mono eye on a stalk, and then one of the arms is the Dalek blaster, the little egg whisk. and then the other hand has a hand but a plunger sticking out of it. But it's like Exterma Wave, I think is what it says on it. But it's a neat crossover. I went through this phase where I just really liked crossovers like that. Like taking two very separate things and mashing them together is really fun. Oh, here's a bunch of more stuff. Prime RC, why I'm here just to suffer. Yeah. If you're referring to the Legacy one, yeah, that was real. I skipped that figure because I like Prime RC. She might be one of my favorite versions of RC as a character, but the toy was not very good looking. I don't know. They leaned too far into trying to G1ify her. I feel I do have a version of the mold. Name escape. Road Rocket, I think is the name. The G2 version of it, but it's not great. Speaking of Armada, we need some Minicon packs. Yes, we do. If we're really going to start phasing away from core class, it would be neat to see the entry-level price point switch to like Minicons and Micromaster style figures. Bring back that. Maybe not go full Battle Master and stuff like that, but doing like a multi-pack of Minicons would be pretty cool. Or just give us Minicons to go with the figures who never got them, like Optimus, Megatron, Galvatron, all those guys. I know we got Jolt in, but you had to buy that super expensive pack to get them with the not great version of Armada Hotshot. I like that paint job on the Armada Hotshot, but I don't like that figure. My figure was just garbage. It wasn't assembled correctly, and it just kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. Even if core class is dead. I don't know if it's dead or not. I think they said in an interview that they're phasing it out, or they're going to try to still do core class figures but include them with other figures or something like that. So who knows. I hope core class is not dead, though, because I like the core class a lot. Tasmanian Kid, though, was good. Yeah. Who is complete nobody? What would you want to see get a toy? Mine is Riker. Who is a complete nobody that you would want to see get a toy? I don't know who you mean by Riker, other than Commander Riker from Star Trek. A complete nobody that I would like to see a toy of in Transformers. Let's see Wideload get a new toy, you know? Somebody like him. Or Backstreet. Oh, I mean, that goes back to an earlier question. There's so many figures, you could just start naming characters who they've never done or haven't done in 40 years. I mean, we got a new Windsweeper and Needlenose in the past year or so. Like, this is where we're at right now, where they're... It seemed, on the one hand, you could look at it as they're scraping the bottom of the barrel of Transformers characters, but on the other hand, it's like guys like me who grew up with the latter day G1, this is what I've been waiting for, these characters to finally see new toys. Favorite RC is Cyberverse. My daughter has that one. That's a really good figure, actually. I like that toy a lot, but she won't let me have it. It's hers. She loves RC and Elita 1 and all those characters. It's great to see figures like that. And I liked her in Cyberverse. Watching her in Cyberverse was really fun. Yeah, and teaming her with Grimlock. Still waiting for a new Flame War. I would like a better Flame War. They did the Shattered Glass version, but I don't like that mold, like we said. So, BWF Transform. Oh, hey, what's up, Sean? Transformers movie episode drops when? Yeah, the Board with Friends Transformers movie pitch episode. Dude, I don't even have it anymore. If you still have a copy of it, sure. We'll find a way to put it up. Riker's an obscure dude from Victory. Oh, well, I didn't know that one. I mean, I know a lot of Victory and Master Force characters, but I don't remember a Riker. I'll have to look him up. He's got a stash, though. All the best characters have mustaches. Master Force is good. We should see more. I like the concept of Master Force. I know I've said Pretenders are stupid, but I like what they've done recently with Pretenders and having the Pretender shells blended with the robot body. It makes for a much more interesting looking figure. And if they want to keep doing that, then I'm for it. A modern quick mix, yeah, he's another one. Like the Autobots are not getting as much love when it comes to the trigger bots and the target masters and things. So where's aren't we supposed to get Sure Shot too? Hasn't he been rumored for like the past 4 years? Yeah, I have Scoop. I still have my Generation Scoop. He's somewhere on a shelf over there. Um, I don't care for his target masters, but they're definitely better than the ones we got with Needle Nose. So, yes, we need Dogfight and Backstreet and all those guys. He got canceled again? Oh, don't tell me that. There's I forgot who it is on the Bot Talk Discord who's just been going on and on about that, and that's so upsetting because I like those. Rebirth was one of the episodes I watched a lot because it was on a recorded VHS tape that my parents had made, and all the Autobot Target Masters. Like I have a soft spot for them, the Target Masters and the Headmasters. Yeah, G-Axis, I still have him sitting on his throne. Love him. He's great. Oh, man. Windsweeper or Needle Nose? I mean, I'm going to go Windsweeper because it's Windsweeper. He was my very first Transformer. He's my favorite. As far as the toy quality is concerned, Needle Nose slightly wins because the plastic feels slightly better, but they're both really good figures. So, although you do have to buy a 2-pack to get Windsweeper, and I mean, I've heard some people had good luck with Breakdown, but he was not a great figure in my opinion. So, mine kept falling apart. I could see the DNA of a good toy there, as far as the design, but it was so loose and the quality control issues were so bad. I really did not like that figure very much. I tried though. A Marvel size Fort Max and Scorponok. Yes, put them at commander class or leader class or something. Make them affordable. That's like you. Some people have observed, when I do top tens and stuff like that, they ask, "Hey, why didn't you put Titan class this in the list?" And it's because I don't buy Titan class. It's just too big. I don't have that much room in my office, so to put a Titan class just takes up too much space, in my opinion. The biggest figure I have is my my Brave Maximus, and that's the biggest one I want. I've been tempted by them, but they're just too big. But I would love to have a Fort Max that's not only affordable, but also doesn't take up the entire house. And Scorponok, actually. I did almost buy Black Zarek, though, the Generation Selects version, because there was a good deal on it at one point. I was very, very tempted. But again, they take up so much space. I want there to be a new Night... Yeah, Nightbeat. There's another great character that we need to see again. He is probably my favorite character in the Marvel comic. I just watched... I didn't just watch it. I watched it a while ago when it came out. But Treebot did a video on Nightbeat because that's his favorite character, apparently. It was really fun seeing him go through all the Nightbeats and absolutely bash the Generations Nightbeat because it is not a good figure. It's a repaint of a Bumblebee figure that's not very good. But I have it still. And I just kind of like it because it's a Nightbeat and that's what we got, It would be nice to get a new Nightbeat, though. A proper Nightbeat. That's actually just Nightbeat and not a half-ass repaint of somebody else. Yeah, Mike, I know you're a big Nightbeat fan. And yes, we need Siren and Hosehead. Hosehead was one I had as a kid, and I loved Hosehead. That's why I bought the Fans Hobby version. Because we haven't gotten a new Hosehead in a very long time. Actually, we've never gotten a new Hosehead, so... If I had to get any Autobot Titan figure, which one would it be? I mean, if I had to, probably I would like a Metroplex. I didn't buy the Generations Metroplex when it came out. I would like a new version of him if I had to buy it. But again, I don't buy Titans, so I probably wouldn't, unless it was really incredible looking. But I remember when that one came out, I was not buying toys at the time, and I really, really wanted it because it was very cool looking for its time. even though it's very skinny. But to be honest, I only buy the pack for the upgrade kit for breakdown, where you have an eject line for windsweeper. Yeah, I mean, I upgraded. I got the no nuff upgrade for my windsweeper, and that's all I needed to differentiate them. A new Rat Bat or Shadow Panther would be good to see. I think we get enough Rat Bats. They need to start leaning towards the other cassettes, honestly. Hey, Transformers 486. My headcanon and some fanfics of mine, Mike, I know what you're doing with this, are that Prowl and Nightbeat are Rorschach Night Owl type 2. Oh, that would be such a cool... They got to do stuff like that. That's what I want to see Hasbro start doing. Instead of giving us these... I mean, not that... I liked Cyberverse and Earthspark, or at least the first season of Earthspark. I haven't caught up on what else is available for it. But I would love to start them... see Hasbro do... kind of like what the DC animated universe did. Start doing, like, direct-to-video specials. And take, you know, old comic books, storylines and stuff like that, and start adapting them and give us those kinds of things. Or just do new original ideas that are one-shots. That would be really cool to watch a buddy cop movie of Prowl and Nightbeat, you know, that kind of thing. I actually wrote a, speaking of scripts, somebody had asked me earlier, I had written an entire audio play years ago of, it was Nightbeat working with Hosehead, and the antagonist was Prowl, but not the antagonist was Streetwise because he was working with Prowl, and Prowl taught him to be a dick, basically. And it was just a fun dynamic that I had written all of that stuff, but I never ended up making the audio play. I had cast it, and I had gotten some of the voice actors had sent me stuff, and I had done my stuff, but I never completed it. A lot of incomplete projects from me. Will I get the DNA upgrade? I'm considering the DNA upgrade kit for Transformers Animated Optimus. It looks cool. It does the armor like I want. It's just going to come down to price and if I can afford it. I'm still like a little bit of insight into my personal life. I got laid off back in December last year, and I've been searching for work, like steady work, since then. I do a lot of freelance stuff, but it doesn't quite pay the bills, so this, you know, I have to be a little bit choosy about what I end up getting. I mean, I'm doing okay, but it's just a matter of, okay, I can't buy everything, so. A new Energon Rodimus. Yeah, that would get me. That would be the only Energon... Well, I also like Energon Scorponok. But Energon Rodimus would be a cool design to see again. Legacy Alpha Q. I don't know about that. I really, really hope we get a new Lancer mold. Lancer's cool too. Yeah, there's so many cool things. We're gonna see a fight between two fan holes. What's my opinion on Giant Legion Devastator? I don't know which Devastator you're referring to by that. I mean, the Combiner Wars Devastator I never got. It was too big. I like my combiners to be roughly in scale with each other. That's why I'm looking forward to the Studio Series 86 one. I imagine we don't have to imagine it. What's his name? Evan? I think he's a collector working for Hasbro and designing Transformers. That's what's so neat about this current design team, seeing them in the different live streams. Like, you can tell that they actually love Transformers, and I think that's part of why we're seeing so many deep cut characters and so much love put into the projects. And you can also tell when they don't like a character or don't care. Like, I remember, what was it, back in April when they were revealing stuff, and they revealed the core class Beast Machines Cheetor, and it felt like a obligation more than anything. They're like, oh yeah, we have to put Beast Machine somewhere in Legacy, and here he is. That's why I said what I said about him in the video. Because even though he does fit scale wise, it still felt more like a, all right, we'll put something with Beast Machine. Same thing with Energon. They did Energon Megatron as a core class just for the sake of having some representation of Energon. That new Devastator, that Mixmaster and Scrapper are the arms. Is that the Revenge of the Fallen Devastator? I'm still not sure. I'd have to check and see which one you're talking about. There was a Legends class Devastator a long time ago of that. I almost bought it too, actually. I'm going for the 86 Devastator. I'm probably going to figure out a way to get 86 Devastator. I like that he's spread out too, so I can save up money for it. Only Devastator I ever owned. I had the Micromaster one from Universe, but the first Devastator I ever owned was G2 Devastator. I would really love it if they did 86 Devastator in G2 colors, but who knows? The yellow G2 colors, that was the one I had. They can always get me with nostalgia. Oh, good. You have other dogs too. Like, nice. I have a dog. I have a husky. He's somewhere. He's not in the office though, so he's probably sitting on the couch where he's not supposed to be. An Obsidian and Striker, yeah, we would love to see them too. I was actually, I'm composing a 2025 wish list, and I think Obsidian might end up being on that list. A Prowl Estate, that would be a fun deep cut. Yeah, if they somehow made it so that Prowl could be part of Devastator. I doubt they'd do it, but it would be really fun. I think a new Beast Machine Silver Bolt that doesn't suck might be good for some people. No, if they do a new Beast Machine Silver Bolt, I want them in his toy colors. That's what I want. Those bright red and yellow and blue. That would be amazing. I mean, it would be cool to get an actual accurate Beast Machine Silverbolt colors, because I kind of like his TV colors as well, but damn, that toy was so bad. But also really cool at the same time in the ridiculous way. It felt like a G2 figure. Alright, how long have we been going for? About an hour. Let's do one more question if anybody's got one, and then we'll wrap this up. I don't want to keep everybody too late. What's my dog doing? I actually don't know what he's doing. Probably eating trash because knows he's not supposed to. So. DNA and Perfect Effect are the only two companies that made it. They did. Oh, they made the head, but did they make a prowl that goes on where Hook is? They could attempt a new Beast Machines Megatron if they remolded the Transmetal 2. I was just thinking about that the other day. We're secret brothers, Mike. If they did a Commander class version of taking the Transmetal 2 Megatron mold and redoing it with really intricate wings to make the cloak, and then give us like some way of doing the head mask over him, oh man, I would totally buy that. It would probably be just as dumb as the actual Beast Machines Megatron toy, but I would be very tempted, especially if they could do a lot of detailed paint to make him look all experimented on like he did in the show. I love Beast Machines. I'm sorry. It's I know a lot of people hate it, but it's still a show that I appreciate how hard they tried to do something different with Beast Machines and something a little bit more grown up, even though they were restricted and couldn't make it as good as it should have been, as far as like, because they had to tone down the violence and everything like that. But I don't agree necessarily with, making Cybertron part organic, but I still appreciate Beast Machines for trying something new and different. Kind of want to see Orthia return. Yeah, that would be a fun one too. There's a lot of combiners that I would love to see, like Magnaboss and Tripredacus, and there's a couple like deep cut different colored versions of like Defensor and stuff like that from Japanese continuity that they could do. Like, there's some fun that they could have with combiners, or just do something new. A new rail racer would be on my list. Do a commander class of the three of them, and do a brand new one with, not translucent plastic, so it doesn't feel like it's going to break when you move it. That would be really cool. But yeah, definitely Leo Kaiser. They could make the. Oh no, that's the only one they shouldn't do, Mike. Oh, they did Volcanicus. That's kind of like the Beast, isn't it? Even some of the original combiners that appeared in Earth Wars, yeah. Or the Impactor combiner. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. All right, I think I'm going to end it there. Going about an hour. So this was pretty fun. I hope you guys like doing Q&As like this. It's kind of fun just chatting and, seeing what everybody thinks. I hopefully will get this week's video out on time. I've completed all the animation for the video itself. There's a special piece that I wanted to do that hopefully I can get done. I don't know if I will. I'm also on a deadline for an audiobook, so it's kind of hit or miss on which one. I mean, I'm contracted for that, so I kind of have to do it. But I'm really hoping that it comes out on Wednesday, but it'll definitely be this week because it's the 2-year anniversary video, and I really want to put a lot into it. And I'll finally do a figure that people have probably been wanting to know my opinion on, so which I haven't really touched on yet. So we'll see. But thank you everybody for coming in, and this was fun. I don't know when the next Q&A or live stream will be, but we'll see what happens. But thanks everybody. Have a good night.